Mabuhay pageant fans! Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Hey Adam G, how are you all doing, guys? Well, if you have noticed, I haven't been active for the past week as I am taking this time to rest and recover by catching up on sleep plus work too from the almost 3-week coverage I had for Miss Universe. So I want to take this opportunity to thank you all for your great feedback about my coverage. Sa totoo lang guys, I still cannot believe I was able to do it all by myself. Kasi I was really sleeping an average of 1 to 3 hours when I was there, but I really did not mind. The passion and excitement I have for Miss Universe truly fueled me all throughout. So I really can't believe that I really lasted 2 weeks without getting sick. Maybe because I truly had fun despite how tiring it was. Everyone I met in El Salvador truly made it a very memorable experience for me. So it was truly a magical experience. So now that I'm back here in Manila and currently in rest mode, I have plenty of time to think and reflect on what just happened during the final show. From riding 3 planes going back home till now, I know that you guys have still been feeling heartbroken for our very own Michelle D, but it is what it is and there is nothing we can do about it anymore. The die has been cast and we could only say it wasn't really in her destiny to win despite performing to the best of her abilities. Anyhow, as I close my Miss Universe coverage with this content, allow me to share with you my lessons that I have learned from Michelle D's Miss Universe journey. It's basically retelling everything that I have seen on the ground, which I hope future MUPs will be able to learn from. So here it is. So guys, we go to my first lesson, which is be unapologetic with your vision and hire the right people to execute it. It really helped that Michelle was already an established celebrity or artist by the time that she joined Miss Universe Philippines on her second attempt. So having learned from her previous pageant experiences nationally, she made sure that everything that we would be seeing in her come Miss Universe is a reflection of her vision and creativity as an artist. Nakita nyo naman guys, diba? She was her own boss in executing this strategy and we are so grateful that the MUP organization allowed her to direct her narrative in this pageant. And the result, Michelle was always beaming with confidence because in every public appearance that she made, talaga naman nakikita mo naman na talaga from head to toe, talagang it was really her who did everything. Diba? So, nakita niyo naman, as a start, it reflected on her denim arrival outfits both here and in LA when she departed for El Salvador, which to be honest is a breath of fresh air as we have seen our previous reps donning Filipiniana attires on their send-off outfits. In Michelle's case, she made sure that we would already feel her authenticity pa lang in those 2 outfits, which is by going edgy yet retaining her own sense of style. Luckily, she had the machinery at the same time to hire a team who would be 100% on board with her vision. And the result, she looked so mighty confident and self-assured in everything that we have seen of her. The confidence level is just right there, which I haven't seen since Catriona's time in 2018. So I think this is really a lesson to all the aspiring MUPs out there. Be authentic, speak from the heart, know who you are, and own it. Own your narrative. Huwag kayong matakot magpakatotoo at kebs na rin kayo sa mga bashers. In Michelle's case, she was unafraid of the backlash or what people might think of her when she finally came out as bisexual after her crowning moment. And now we go to our second lesson, which is seize the moment when an opportunity arises or when the occasion calls for it. Since Michelle made an impressive showing during her arrival, I remember praying I hope she would be able to maintain that good showing till the very end. So the next day, I went to the hotel in hopes of catching a glimpse of her while doing her reg and fittings. And when she finally passed by our area to greet us fans loitering in the lobby, I was really stunned. Not so much about her white outfit then, but by the confidence level that she displayed in that particular brief encounter with her. Remember guys, yung footage ko na I took of her where she waved at me and started pointing her hand while squinting to my camera? Looking back now guys, naisip ko, I thought that was a sign of confidence and assurance that she's got everything under control and we have nothing to be worried about, as she was truly fully in control and self-aware of what was happening around her. It is only now that I am thinking that it was a sign that she was subliminally telling us to relax and just enjoy the show. At siya na ang bahala sa atin. Doon pa lang, her confidence level was already soaring at that time, and that was already a preview of things to come. And then, ito na nga guys, after the regent fittings, the field trips came. And is it just me who appreciated the fact that she was included in the right field trip at the right time? I am singling her out here because I think this was one of Michelle's defining moments here in this competition. She was included in those beach trips that required her to show some skin as she toured Golfo de Fonseca while on board a yacht and enjoyed a surfing trip in Surf City at the same time. And mind you guys, diba nakita nyo naman, she did not disappoint. May tinatago palang kaseksiyan pala tong si Michelle, which was aided by those sexy outfits that she wore courtesy of Angela Tolosa and Ulysses Caragayam. Because, aminin naman natin guys, diba? Michelle hardly shows some skin when she attends events. But when the occasion finally calls for it, then boom, she delivers. And for the longest time, we have been so focused on Michelle's styling and warped on her communication skills that we totally forgot that she could even impress us with her physical transformation. Like, this is the sexiest I have seen of her to date. Na she really impressed us. So, when she finally showcased a sneak peek of how sexy she was, we were totally lapping it all up. Diba? So, what can we learn from Michelle's strategy here? She did not wait for the right time for her big moment to arrive, like say come prelims. She unpacked her luggage right away and picked the right outfit for the right occasion. A back-to-back beach trip was the perfect opportunity talaga for her to showcase her physical transformation, and she did not waste it. She did not hold back. She served, she slayed in those two sexy looks, and it was in this moment when I realized unti-unti na talaga siyang palakas ng palakas at that time. And she was really getting stronger by the day. And now we go to my third lesson, which is she was very approachable, humble, and self-aware by engaging her fans on social media. Kasi diba guys, for the longest time, we have been advising our delegates to Miss Universe to shun or avoid social media while in competition so they wouldn't get affected by criticism or negative comment hurled against them by fans. Although it's healthy to check fan feedback from time to time, of course, our queens still need to protect their mental health so they wouldn't get easily distracted unnecessarily during the competition. In Michelle's case, she did the opposite. She still solicited fan feedback and did not mind reading negative comment about her. Maybe it helped that she really has strong character and mental fortitude that she really did not get affected easily by what she read online. Doon pa lang guys, ngayon ko lang nare-realize, we already had a winner in Michelle because she is tough and won't easily bend. And in doing so, she still engaged us online by playing with us along her journey. She knew she had to tickle the senses or get the interest and support of fans to create a noise for her candidacy. So she humbled herself down and took everything in stride by poking fun at herself for a change. Likening herself, diba, to Dora the Explorer, na feeling ko is a Spanish playful take on her short hairdo while about to compete or explore in a Latin country. And it worked. The result, she made herself all the more relatable and endeared herself to the fans. Hence, when it was crunch time to double our efforts in the pageant's numerous online votings and challenges, the whole pageant Filipino fandom rallied behind her, displaying a strong bayanihan spirit we have never seen before by propelling her all across the online challenges. Diba? She emerged on top not just in one, but three, if not all online challenges, namely the fan vote for semifinals, Voice for Change, and the national costume competition. And because of this, Michelle D will now go down in pageant history as the Miss Universe candidate with the most number of special awards rake in the finals telecast. I know people might say that it was only us, her fans, who made it all happen, but if you think about it, guys, diba? Especially with the last special award that she got, the Spirit Carnival Award, it was not determined by fan vote, but by one of the major sponsors of this year's pageant. So guys, whether on or off stage, diba? Michelle really impressed everyone in the competition. So it is in my hope that the next Miss Universe Philippines title holder could take a cue from her by making herself more relatable. All this time throughout Michelle's journey, we keep telling her that she is so alta and unreachable with her demeanor, but she quickly learned her lesson to humble herself down and be more relatable by smiling more, talking more about her advocacies, and engaging her fans online. The result was an unprecedented Miss Universe campaign comparable to Catriona Gray's time in Miss Universe 6 years ago. And now we go to my fourth lesson, and this is the most painful lesson I've learned, that a gown pasabog does not necessarily equate to a top 5 call. All this time that I would vlog and get interviewed by mainstream media about Michelle's chances in snagging our 5th crown in El Salvador, I would always tell that the biggest challenge Michelle would be facing during the finals is the evening gown competition. Kasi guys, diba, it's already a given that she has stellar communication skills. So she was already a shoo-in for top 20. From top 20, we saw how she improved in her catwalk and showmanship. So she would definitely advance to top 10. But in order for her to reach top 5, Michelle has to nail her evening gown segment with aplomb. As I feel this is the segment that was subject to debate, as she got mixed reviews in her emerald green cut-out gown during preliminary competition. And I was right. That segment proved to be the segment that would change Michelle's entire course during the finals. So Michelle had to prove herself in this area, and luckily, she did, as she stunned everyone in that beautiful Apo Wang Od-inspired black Mark Baumgartner gown. And that gown was indeed a game changer with all its intricate details and bold color, which is black. And it really made Michelle stand out so easily that she was a shoo-in the top 5. However, as we all saw, she did not make it to top 5 despite a very strong showing. Obviously, the entire judging panel was 50-50 on it. Some like it, some did not. So, if this was the case, then is it safe to say that her gown was polarizing? I think so, judging from the outcome of the top 5 reveal. But regardless of how the judges think about it, Michelle still emerges as a winner here because she caught the whole audience and even the fans talking for her stellar showmanship in this area. And at this point, no matter what conspiracy theory you might think that may have led to this outcome, there is nothing that we can do to put her back in the top 5. The judges had already spoken and we just have to learn to respect it. But guys, looking at the silver lining of this whole situation, at least Michelle ended up in top 10 without everyone thinking that she performed so bad or gave a very lackluster performance in that segment, but the other way around, that she deserved to be up there to be in the top 5. So I guess the best judge to determine Michelle's gambit in this segment will be time or history. I would just like to think that Michelle just came ahead of her time in Miss Universe, and pageant history will favor her kindly for the gambit that she has pulled off. And this is how you end one's Miss Universe campaign. You may not have won the crown, but in the hearts of many, you are the Miss Universe title holder you every inch deserve to be. And if there's one thing that we have to learn from Michelle here, is that she was very consistent in projecting her authenticity, which is her edgy persona. I feel she would rather have this kind of outcome that she wore this very edgy gown instead of wearing a sparkly soft feminine dress, which is very far from her persona. So for the aspiring queens out there watching this, it's really important to stay true to your core so that you won't have any regrets in the end, whether the results will favor you or not. And now we go to my fifth and last lesson, which is choose a designer or team who will have your best interests. This is one glaring lesson that needs to be put out there. In relation to my first lesson that I had shared here earlier about owning your vision and choosing the right people to execute your vision, in this case, Mark Baumgartner has been with Michelle since the start of her Miss Universe journey earlier this year. So by the time that she was competing for Miss Universe or getting prepared for Miss Universe, she's already comfortable working with him. With the latter, with Mark Baumgartner, already knowing what looks good or best for Michelle in terms of looks and aesthetic. When Mark presented her gown sketches and ideas about paying tribute to Filipina iconic women, Michelle did not hesitate and agreed to do it right away. So, watching her perform on stage, it did not make us feel that Michelle was forced to wear her gown, but instead she was confidently rocking it because she was authentically presenting herself very well. From how she sourced her own materials, as she disclosed in my interview, to fitting her gown patiently with Mark, we can see that it was a very seamless collaboration. Michelle was heavily involved in her preparation for this aspect, and the result proved nothing but impressive and spectacular. So to all the aspiring MUPs out there, please take a cue from Michelle here again, from Michelle's playbook about this matter. You will end up having no what-ifs or regrets whether you win or not. There is no way to present yourself better on stage than how you had already envisioned yourself from the get-go. Catriona started it, Michelle followed. Executing your vision has staggering returns on your candidacy. So, now that I've shared my 5 lessons, I now go to some questions, lingering questions I have after watching the pageant again for the second time, but this time on YouTube. The first question that I have in mind is, why the team Voice for Change was nowhere to be seen or felt during the final show? Napansin nyo guys? Kasi diba the Miss Universe organization introduced the Voice for Change segment wherein all its contestants got to talk about their respective passions and advocacies. However, it was nowhere felt or seen during the entire show last November 18. Kasi diba guys, the organization placed so much bearing on all of it throughout this edition, but I feel the contestants never had a chance to speak about it during the prelims or finals night. And I was looking for this segment because it is definitely the main theme of the show, or a good continuation of its narrative of being a force for good as a transformational leader that it had introduced last year. Yet, we did not get to have a feel of it during the show. So I wish this was highlighted more than anything else during the show. I know some of you may say that the introduction video of the girls during the top 20 would have been it, but it still felt a little bit hollow for me. The girls weren't really given a chance to talk about it in their own words, so I felt a little bit hollow, which leads me to my next point. Why were the top 5 questions so easy this year? I'm sure I'm not the only one who has noticed this, but how come the top 5 questions were so easy this year? The Miss Universe organization has always reminded us of its theme of looking for that transformational leader as a force for good in her community, but we did not feel or see it within the formatting of the finals night. Pero, diba? Don't get me wrong guys, I am not questioning Miss Nicaragua, the eventual winner, or the other contestants who placed, but I just wish the judging would have been congruent with the pageant's theme. So, ano nangyari? What did we get out of this afterwards? We ended up rooting for all the frontrunners or crowd favorites because we had no choice but to root for them because we don't know anything about them at all except for their showmanship skills on stage. Unlike, say, back during the IMG era wherein all of us would be surprised why you suddenly see yourself falling in love with Miss Jamaica back in 2017 or even Miss Kenya back in 2016 because they were incredibly gifted or charismatic speakers. So, my point is, All the girls during the finals night last November 18 were placed or put in a disadvantage because the crowd did not really know them that well. So when Michelle finally did not make it to top 5, ay nako, bahala na talaga kung sino yung iruroot natin in the absence of anything substantive for us to get to know them better. So yep guys, I really miss the IMG era where they would get the girls share more about themselves. Kasi last edition guys, diba, we got to feel what they were talking about when they were looking for the transformational leader in a winner. But this year, it seemed it changed direction. So I would have loved for the organization to be consistent of its narrative of what they're looking for. So there you go guys. Those are just my thoughts about the finals night of Miss Universe. Ang dami ko na namang sinabi, no? Well, if you have other lessons in mind, feel free to share it down below so I could also see if may kulang akong nasabi or may hindi pa ako naisip na dapat ko I should also put out there. Alright guys, I'm taking a break talaga from pageant vlogging. So I hope you enjoy watching this content. So until my next video, bye!